everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. We're diving into one of my favorite wheated bourbons and their annual limited releases. That's right. It's Maker's Mark Wood Finishing Series, BRT-01 and BRT-02. You're going to get some tasting notes and comparisons tonight, so buckle up and pour yourself a drink. We're going to get into these bad boys here. So I'm excited. I know, like most of you, we've just been waiting. Like, where have the Maker's Mark Wood Finishings been all year? Right? I guess there was a glass shortage, and I don't know if they wanted to release these together at exactly the same time and make us wait nearly the entire year to do so. I'm not sure if that was part of their marketing plan, but nonetheless, it happened. So, first up, let's talk about BRT-01. So there it is, a little closer for you to see it. Gorgeous color, gorgeous bottle, gorgeous red wax. It peels off easily. Although I will say Knob Creek's been improving, so maybe those guys did take a trip over to the red wax factory. This peeled off like butter, just gone. Alright, BRT-01, which stands for Barrel Rotation 01, right? Comes in at 109.4 proof. Compute, 54.7% alcohol by volume. Whew, that was quick computing today. That was tough. So 109.4. This one is finished in 10 virgin toasted American oak. The patriotic oak. Finished in 10 American oak staves. Now there are some tasting notes on the front here, which we might as well give you. They may differ from mine. Deep caramelized barrel notes. So it tastes like caramel wood. Accented with some toastiness and a warm finish. That's what it says on the front. So, that sounds good. Now, the back, which I'll put up on the screen, is the same actually for both of these. So I'm only going to read it once. But it does say, our wood finishing series is a chance to push the flavor boundaries. For 2022, we've created expressions inspired by our unique history of barrel rotation. Hand rotating 200,000 barrels a year is key to both our DNA and our consistent whiskey. So if you didn't know, Maker's Mark is roughly 6 years old. Most everything they do, and then they do finish a lot of stuff in staves. But just their base whiskey is roughly 6 years old. They do 3 years at the top of the rick house, and then they roll them on down to the bottom for an additional 3 years. So that's typically what they do. So if you didn't know that, you learned something today. So BRT-01, which is this one, tells the story of our first 3 years of extraction at the top of the warehouse, where expressions experience large temperature swings. You'll get more barrel influence with caramel and a hint of toastiness. So BRT-02, which is over here, which we'll talk about in a second, it says is about the final 3 years of reaction at the bottom, where it's cooler year-round. You'll find darker, heavier characteristics, along with some fruit and chocolate. So, BRT-01, top 3 years of the warehouse, it's inspired by that. I don't think they actually aged this for all 6 years at the top of the warehouse. I don't think that happened, because if it did, it'd probably be hotter than 109.4 proof. Just saying. So I think they've done something to replicate that flavor. Alright, now BRT-02, sporting a much nicer label. I think. I like this orange color here. It's just a better label. Is also 109.4 proof. So that's how you know that they kind of made these to be that way. I don't think they actually aged this one all 6 years to the bottom because they probably have a lower proof. I just don't think they did that. 54.7% alcohol by volume again. This one is finished with 10 virgin toasted French oak staves. So BRT-01 was American oak. This one's French oak. That might be how they got the difference, considering these are exactly the same proof other than that. Tasting notes on this one here say, dark expression Well, that sounds right up my alley. Filled with notes of fruit, nut, and chocolate. So nuts and chocolate and fruit in this one. It's like, I don't know, it's like a fancy party, right? And like we said, the back's the same, so this is the bottom, inspired by the bottom of the warehouse. So this is 1, this is 2. Color-wise, identical. I can't tell one from the other. Alright, so we're going to start with 1 right here in my glass. Give it a swirl. We're going to give you some tasting notes. Alright, you ready? Jumping in. Oh, man. Maker's Mark does a good wood finishing every year. I haven't had a bad one. Some I've liked more than others, but never a bad one. So this comes off as very toasty and marshmallowy to me. So they said like barrel influence. I don't get a lot of wood. I don't get any oak. I just get like that sweet maker's funk that you can tell it's wheated, and I get a ton of toasted notes on this. It just smells very toasty with like marshmallow wafts through the nose. I do get some base caramel in there as well. It smells velvety. Alright, let's take a sip. My oh my, that's good. Maker's Mark hits a nice... This finish is still going. Wow. Kentucky hug unless I have heartburn. I don't know. It's my first whiskey of the day. Ooh. Very thick feeling on the mouth. I know that's not what they were going for. I get a lot of toasted notes, the marshmallow, the caramel. Hint of fruit on there, just a little bit. Let's take one more. My, oh my, that is pleasant. Winner, winner. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't even taste the second one yet. But if you see BRT-01, definitely pick it up. For me, it gets an A rating this year. Man, that's good. Very sweet. Caramel. It's got a good mouthfeel on it. You get like just a toasted marshmallow note throughout it. A little bit of fruit on the back end. Finish is fairly long for 109 proof. It actually probably drinks about 105. It drinks a little underproof to me, I think, on that one. MSRP in Pennsylvania, $59.99 a bottle. So instant buy. Instant buy for that price. So we're going to give BRT-01 an A. On to BRT-02. I don't know. This feels like heavier in the glass as I swirl it. I mean, I know there's more in there now, but I don't know. Feels slightly thicker in the glass, but we'll see if it comes off that way on the mouth. Oh. This has way more fruit and just rich chocolate notes jumping out. I mean, they said chocolate, nut, darker, and like fruit. It is darker. I get like chocolate, a hint of like espresso. Oh, and some fruit. This is smelling delicious. It does overall smell darker, in case you were wondering. Alright, let's take a sip. Boy, just another winner. Man, that's pleasant. Alright, so two things. It does not feel as thick in the mouthfeel, and the finish is far shorter. So if you like a thick mouthfeel and longer finish, BRT-01 is better in that respect. But this has a deep, lovely, dark chocolate note on here. There's chocolate in here, and fruit, and a little bit of caramel. That's what I'm getting on that first sip there. Very pleasant, but it's not as thick feeling as BRT-01. Let's take one more sip. Man, that's good. Oh, it's just that fruit. It's mostly chocolate to me, honestly. I get a hint of some fruit, a lot of chocolate. Perhaps a bit of cinnamon on there as well. It has a good mouthfeel. It just didn't feel as viscous as BRT-01. and then the finish is shorter. I would say it also drinks about 105. I think these drinks slightly under proof. I've had these open a few days. There's a few pours missing out of them. Gave them away as samples to friends of the channel. Very good. Also an A. Also scores an A for me tonight. Alright, they're both going to receive A's. They're both buys. They are different. I just... It's hard for me to pick a winner because it depends on my mood. If I'm in the mood for like a toasty, fall, winter bourbon by the fire, right? BRT-01 fits the bill. If I want like on a cold winter night, I want that just dark chocolate and holiday spirit, BRT-02 hits the spot. I mean, it's really going to depend on your mood and what you really prefer. I love a darker, deeper, more delicious flavor palette. So I'm going to give the nod to BRT-02 tonight as the winner. But I will say it is highly dependent on your palate. Now, this wouldn't be Bourbon Bill's channel if we just stopped it there, would it? That's right. We got FAE-01 and FAE-02. 2021's limited releases. So we're going to compare them for you right now. So, FAE-01 from last year, for those that do not remember, came in at 110.3. Compute, 55.15% alcohol by volume. This one was also finished in American Oak staves. Very interesting, right? BRT-01, American Oak. FAE-01, American Oak. Do I sense a pattern moving forward? This one says a fruit-forward expression with notes of tobacco and wood. Now, this bottle's been low for a long time. I've been saving it till the 2022s came out, which was like forever, right? Jeez. We'll see how it is. This one was not my favorite from last year. We'll put it here in the blue. Alright, compared to FAE-01. FAE-01 is just a woody tobacco bomb. I mean, I know that's what it says on the label, but that's really all I got from it. Probably my least favorite wood finishing bottle ever, honestly. It's my least favorite. I'm just not a big fan of that tobacco punch. It's all tobacco and dry wood. BRT-01 and BRT-02 easily beat it. Wasn't my favorite last year and hasn't improved. It's not bad. It's not bad. If you pay, I don't mind paying $60 for it. It's just not in my flavor palette wheelhouse, but I can still drink it. I don't dislike it. Just not, by far, not my favorite maker's profile. Alright, FAE-02, which I believe made my top 10 of 2021 bourbons last year. And I preferred this bad boy quite a lot to FAE-01. This one comes in at 109.1 proof. Compute, 54.55% alcohol by volume. Now, ding, ding, ding. The -02 gets 10 French oak staves, just like BRT-02 is French oak. It says a texture-forward expression that's full body with notes of toasted oak and a rich, creamy finish. So if you don't remember, FAE-01 stood for fatty acid esters. It was all about mouthfeel. But FAE-02 was the darling of many last year. Alright, we'll pop in the old green Glencairn for that one. Now, I like this one quite a bit. So this will be interesting to see how I like it compared to the BRT-01 and BRT-02s. Oh! This is very fruity. All I get is fruity up front, and it's more of like a stone fruit. I get like a pear, peaches. It's not like a darker red fruit like I got on BRT-02. This is like a lighter stone fruit type fruitiness on the nose. Then the caramel's there. It's not as dark as BRT-02, but it is fruity. Let's take a sip. FAE-02 is delicious. It's all fruit and caramel, but it's a brighter fruit and caramel. It is not a dark fruit and dark caramelized caramel. There you go. It's delicious. Still love this one. This would be tough for me where I would place it. FAE-02 had a little bit more oak presence and that brighter stone fruit. I think it's excellent. I would place it on par with BRT-01 and BRT-02. I'd have to do them blind, but so far I'm liking BRT-02 better than FAE-02, and I could be convinced that BRT-01 is also better than FAE-02, but they're different. So if you like that stone fruit, a little bit more oak that came in FAE-02, the oak's not really present in any of the BRTs from this year, for sure. And neither is the stone fruit. So if that was your jam, you're not going to find that. Now, you are going to find a very thick, delicious bourbon in either one. And that's not quite all. Little Maker's 46 cask. Finish in 10, French oak. Yeah, this one's 110.3. Compute 55.15% alcohol by volume. We'll throw that into the other blue glass here. It was a little 375, so my hand didn't suddenly increase in size. A lot of people like this one. This one's also 60. Just 60 bucks on the shelf normally. This is drinking more like the BRTs, honestly. Or, I'm sorry, it's smelling more like the BRTs. It's got that little bit of Maker's caramel funk and then just some woodiness to it. Let's take a sip. Maker's 46 cask is very good. If you missed out on the wood finishing series, just pick up one of them. It's pretty close. It's delicious. It's just got a little bit more of an oak presence to it. And it's kind of missing the fruit. It's kind of just like caramel and smoke. Very good. I would say I still prefer the BRT series because of the mouthfeel on them is greater and the finish is longer. But, you know, Maker's 46 cask is no slouch. So, Bourbon Bill tonight says the BRTs are winners. And, besides my favorite Maker's wood finishing of all time, which is SE4PR5, these are hitters. I think they're better than the FAE-02 and 01 from last year. I think they do eclipse the Maker's 46 cask as well. So if you're on the lookout this year, snatch them up. A ratings. If you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. We're just at about 600 subscribers, trying to get to that 1,000. Help me out. Have a great evening, everybody.